Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, I decided to go live today. I was gonna go live tomorrow after Super Bowl, but I was like, no, we got a lot to do tomorrow. Let's just do it today. Why not? Alright, so let's see here. Let me get my feedback here going. Let's kill the audio on this thing going. Okay, here we are. So let's see. Today, we're gonna work on a few things. Essentially, what I've been doing lately is I have been redoing Big Blue. Big Blue is, well, it's big, it's blue, it's powerful. You got it. And I've been putting Merlin. Actually, I didn't build another Merlin. I've been trying to make it so I can just use the same ones. A Merlin on the barrel. The problem was, of course, is this was originally an Ultra Match barrel. It was a 16-inch Ultra Match barrel. It meant that on top of the 16 inches of brass, you had another inch and an eighth here. So as soon as you put a Merlin on top of all that, you had this 20-inch barrel. And yeah, it's a bit much for the long shot tube. So I cut it down, basically, cut down the outside aluminum. Hold on, trying to get this loose. Hopefully this doesn't break on me or something stupid. There we go. And I basically gave it a sleeve like this. So this would be a lot like what I do with the Chrono Mag and the Merlin Squared. Now, the thing is though, now that this is glued and it's centered, oh, that does look nice. Nice laminated barrel. So the inside is silicone on the inside. I didn't get that nice space age stuff I got to use in the 12. I had to, but still, silicone works really well. Silicone between here and then it's brass, so it dampens a lot of it. So what I have to do first, I have to take this aluminum and I have to essentially, you got it, just kind of clean it up a little, because I have a little bit of a peak there. Let's take the end of the barrel here. Okay. I'm doing this so I don't scuff the crap out of it, because I'm going to hit it with a file and true it. So this is Gorilla Tape, and what this does is when you're doing this, it makes it so that you're not scuffing the barrel while you're trying to even this out. So first thing you want to do is take this aluminum right here and just file it. And yes, you want to do this while it's in here. Why? Because it makes everything just line up. If you do it beforehand, that can happen, but then you're going to have all this fine tuning to do second. So how did I break this loose from here? I basically took a Dremel and hit this whole thing up here. Actually, if I'm smart, I'm going to do this. Anybody ever wonders why I have this thing of duct tape? All these little things of duct tape back there, that's why. Because when I'm in the middle of a project, I'll just grab one. So let's take the top of this, because this is anodized aluminum, and we don't want to scratch this while we're working on it. Okay. It also makes a nice level circle there. So when you're concentrically filing, it's a lot easier to see the peaks of valley. Although this is black though. It would be better if I used like orange or white or gray tape, but it's okay, I can see it. I guess it's just fine. Oh, it's raining today. We're supposed to get like 3 or 4 inches of rain in one day in Southern California, which is cool. I know a lot of people go like, it's raining, you know, but me, it's like, oh, it's raining. Oh, cool. But you know why? Because in Southern California, it barely ever rains. It's like a drought city, and that's cool in some ways, but when you got sinuses like mine, you can even hear the air cleaner still going. Yeah, taking up any pollen, anything. So what we're doing right now is we're taking this aluminum here and this crown here, and we are leveling these so that I can put this Merlin attachment on Big Blue. Beforehand, the Big Blue was pretty accurate, but you know, not as accurate as I would like it to be. And in order to put, let's put it this way, I could put the Merlin on there, but it would drop it significantly in velocity. What I want to do is I want to keep the 300, 310, 320 foot per second or so velocity that I'm aiming for. And I want to have the Merlin on there without having this huge barrel. Now I could do like what Alan Turbino did, where he used a 38 millimeter Orange Modworks tube. I could do that. Believe it or not, with as fast and as crazy as this blaster can be, it is using a stock tube with 4 inlet ports on the side of the tube, and it's the only alpha prototype with a metal plunger. That is the biggest thing, the metal pusher. There it is. So you guys chat away, talk away. I'm just busy right now concentrically filing, trying to get this right. Now the next thing I'm going to work on is I'm going to work on this right here. I have to cut this down a little because it's got a bit of an overhang. So this means, of course, I'm going to file the living crap out of it. This is the kind of stuff I do in my bedroom all the time. So there we are. So let's take a look. Where is it? There we go. So I got duct tape on it to keep my anodized aluminum from getting, getting scuffed, and my brass from getting scuffed. And put in mind, this is thin wall brass. So, all right. So there we go. Right there. That's a bit more even. I could fine-tune it a little bit later, but pretty much that's it. And the reason that's like that is because this is female on this side, and then I can fit this. But you can see I have a little bit of distance I got to get rid of. See that right there? Yeah, a little bit. I don't know, where are my darts? One second. One second. Yeah, let's just shoot some version 3s through here. And yes, you can fire version 3s. The nice thing about having a big barrel is that it's really nice and fully supported. You got a nice, I would say it's about 15-inch barrel at this point. With the Merlin, makes it 16 on top of that. Be nice if my scope was. Ooh. And I hit the string. So there's a string back there that I'm firing at. That one little string, I hit it. I actually hit the freaking string, the freaking red string. That's pretty good. It doesn't really tell me much long-range blaster shooting from this far away, because this is really close, but it does give me an idea that at least it's feeding, at least it's firing. Okay, look out. At least it's on scope. That one missed. But then again, I'm shooting ACCs. Let's shoot a version 3 Explorer. See what that does. Okay. So we'll get back to machining in a second. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have a little bit of trim work to do here. So I gotta take my file again. And this time we're gonna take a dart. We're gonna fan it. Okay, and the reason we do this is to make sure we don't get a bunch of metal and crap in our pusher and our plunger rod and everything else. I could take this whole thing out if I wanted to, but no, I don't want it. I don't want it. It's just like a really thin. So I have a dart in there. It keeps the crap out. So what's going to happen is I'm going to fire another dart behind it. I'm going to fire another dart behind it and fire it out when I'm done. What I'm doing is I'm concentrically firing. I'm turning it and firing at the same time. And I'm bringing down about a 16th inch. It's not much. The system that this is working on is an interlocking brass system. So I don't really have to worry too much about that. But if you're on the spot, on the go, and you just want to do this, yeah, that's cool. Also, the dart kind of gives me a reference of how much brass have I taken off. Yeah. Boy, it's going to be a really nice laminate barrel. I can't wait to fire this thing outside. Unfortunately, it's raining right now, but I can't wait to fire this outside. This is going to be really killer. So I got a high spot right here. There we go. Take it out like so. There we go. So what you do is when you're filing, you land it flat, you hit both surfaces, and you turn it. And what that does is it averages out your files. So on a file, you'll have a part where you're hitting more and you're hitting less. Like at the beginning of when you're filing, you'll hit more in one position and less in another. And what you're best off doing is to just do it like this, just round. Just like that. Okay, that looks about right. There we go. Ah. And I just knocked that out. Very nice. You know, where did I put my deburrer? I can go devirtual, or I can go to Zapdo knife. I'd rather go devirtual if I can find it. Oh, Jesus. I was looking for this all day yesterday. I don't know what happened. All day. I was looking for the damn Allen key and I had to borrow another one. Damn it. Okay. Alright. I'm going to use a pair of 916 Cobalts with another way to crown a barrel. And this is an inner crown, so I really want this to flange a little bit because it's going to be interlocking into a Merlin or whatever barrel attachment I put on here. Okay, so what I do is I take the grips, I hold it out like this, and I hit it like so. There we go. Giving it a little bit of a crown, a little bit of a flange. Here we are. Like so. Yep. Okay. So, ooh, nice, hit it, very cool. Even without the Merlin, hit it. Alright, so, now, I'm going to put my Merlin on here, okay, and put it on here, and I'm going to, yeah. See how much did I lose? A little bit. There's still a little bit of a gap there. But I don't know if I'm going to keep it or lose it or what. But right now I'm much more worried about congruency. So, here we go. Get some light. Sorry guys. Oh. There we are. And that one will go up a certain amount. Get some light through here. Oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. Little seal test here. Oh, nice, nice. And this is a metal plunger rod with a flat seal on it, no speed seal, and it's going into a stock plunger tube. Cool. Not the best seal, but it's alright. That's good enough. That's good enough. Oh man. Yeah. Alright. Grab this over here. I'd love to just take this thing outside and start shooting stuff, but unfortunately, raining, you know? So let's see. Okay. So let's see. Wait for some people to get on chat here, and I'll address a few things I've noticed lately. Pretty crazy. We got the Super Bowl game tomorrow. Oh, my hair. I know I have headboard hair the whole time, so I lay in bed a lot. Super Bowl tomorrow. Pretty crazy. Oh, thank you for jamming my FEJ. I don't understand why I did that. Okay, hold on. Alright. So anybody, nobody moves or the box gets it. Not only did it put a hole in the box, but I had like a chrono slide in there. He knocked it out and knocked it behind my bed. Oh man, Mad Men with Singapore steel. Oh my god, that is freaking nuts. That is nuts. Dude, I don't think anybody's here today. That's okay. You guys get to play that. That's fine. Okay. So, here's that same dart. And it knocked a part out of my bed. I wonder if that's on camera. That was really funny. Let's see here. Here's the head cam that Aldos gave me. Right here. Oh, and Aldos, yeah. He was watching a live chat of his today. And he is doing a lot of community stuff. He's thinking about going to a Facebook system for his lives, and then doing like YouTube for the rest of the support. Hey, what's up, OC? You know, no, Broke Nerfing. What's up? I am bad with names. I am so sorry. Not much, man. I am just working on Big Blue. I just got the barrel leveled and everything. If you want to see that, watch the replay, because I tape it and I level it and everything else, and I'm just shooting stuff. I just shot this box and knocked the freaking chrono slide right out of the box, like on the other side of it. Just wahoo! Hey brother, I'm going live at 3. Live at 3. Okay, I'll be on. I'll be off before then. I'm only gonna be on for an hour, less than an hour, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, I'm only gonna be on for another 30-40 minutes. Not that long. So yeah, I will totally. Oh, by the way, Broken Nerfing has another. Has another interview. That's right. So in the chat, tell us about this interview. Who is it? Who's our victim this week? Who is it? Okay. So, let's see. Let's go SNJ. I won't screw it up. No worries. No worries, no worries, no worries. Justin. Cool. I've not heard of him, so it'll be pretty cool. See new nerfers, all that stuff. Okay, I gotta get this out of here. You know why? Because nobody moves, or the fucking box gets it. Oh! You guys just... Oh, that's embarrassing. Long shot guy just... and no alcohol, not even one drop, I swear. Okay, hold on. 1 second, 1 second. Are you guys ready? Yeah. The cardboard box is no match for Big Blue with a Merlin on it. No frickin' match. Dude, this thing is nuts. Okay, so let's work on the trimming here a bit. As you know what I should do? I should do this. Can't believe I just freaking... Never do that with a long shot, friends. Never do that with a long shot. You know what I should do? I should do that. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me give you more light. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a tiny string, red string hanging down there where G.I. Joe Man used to be, and I'm trying to hit that. It is very hard to hit, okay? But we're going to try. The trim's probably going to be a little off. Let's see. Yeah. A piece of Singapore steel here. Yeah. Hard. Really hard. But at this range, that's the standard for this thing. Got it. Good. Okay. Yeah, I was aiming a little... Okay, so my trim is... I think I gotta go lower. Hold on. Okay, so this thing has got what's called locking turrets. So you'll turn it here, right? And you can go up slightly, right? And then what you do is you have 3 Allen bolts here. And you can remove that and put it at 0. It's a really bitchin' feature. Okay, so I'm shooting a little low. It doesn't surprise me. Let's see, I moved a few clicks, and there we go. There we go. So yeah, I'm hitting a string from across the room. Put in mind the wall dimensions is 10 feet, and I'm about that far away from here to where the box on the target is. So it's about 10 feet. I measured it once. It was like 10 feet 2 inches, something like that. Yeah. So when you're aiming that close and you're trying to aim at something that's really high powered, really long range, you need a very small target that is so tiny that it's emphasizing basically anything you can. Of course, it's nothing like going out 100 feet, 65 feet. 65 feet, by the way, where'd I get that distance? Well, that's as far as I could put a target in my backyard, pretty much. I would go 75 feet, and that would be like 25 yards, especially since a lot of my old shooting stuff was 75 feet. So when I used to shoot pistols, and I used to be really big into it, almost all my targets were 25 yards. So, yeah, pin gun was 10 yards, headshot was 15 yards. I had the headshot record for 45 auto for a long time. 7.5 seconds, 10 targets with a magazine change. It was pretty good shooting with a 1911. So, yeah. But what we're doing here is just kind of fine-tuning it. I painted this, as you guys know, this Azure Blue metallic test doors, and it seems to be doing a lot better than the problems I had with the original Arctic Blue one back in 2016. Okay, my crosshairs. The other thing I'm checking, crosshairs. Make sure the crosshairs are with this line. The nice thing about Nerf toys is you have this little divider line here, okay? And because you have the mold line, you can actually line up your scope vertically to the mold line, and it works. It works really well. Also, for stuff like this, maybe you can't see it because it's a little worn off, but there is a trim, this way left, this way right, for the Merlin. Because if you make it so that the Merlin exits this way, outside of gravity, it will throw it right, or this way will throw it left, or vice versa. I forget exactly. I haven't done it in a while. But at any rate, I have 3 reference tabs on top of the Merlin. That's what that means. It means basically this side up, and you have this much to go a little left, about an MOA or so, and this much to go right. Yeah, I liked your last interview a lot, man. One with what's his name? Beret. Yeah, I'm kind of brain fart today. I liked it a lot. It was good. You know what? Let's try to do the trims with enamel. You want to know why? Because I'm constantly doing this with felt pen, and the problem with felt pen is that it's just And this is definitely my big keeper blaster here. This is my heirloom blaster. Metal parts. I got a kind of a soft spring load, 24, but it's soft. It's not an 18.5. 18.5 is really fast action. That's made to really haul ass. I'm aiming for about 300, 320. I'm not aiming to go really, really fast. If I am, it's, well, let's just put it this way. It's like, I think I almost got banned from GID. Or this blaster almost got banned from GID when I went with it in 2018. Last round we were playing CTF, and I was leading the team, and I had a Mauser fire, and I had this. And of course this thing ran out of ammo and shit ticks, because I'm trying to brick people from really far away, and I will just, anything that's within 200, 240, I will try to hit with this, and I'll hit it. But at one point, I had about a magazine and a half left, and I got flanked by one of the other 3 teams, and I unloaded on that team. It was like 10 people trying to rush us, and 8 or 10 people. It was a bunch of people. I forget how many, but all I know is that I unloaded a whole magazine and got every single one of them. And just bam, 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 and they all went walking back to respawn. But that wasn't a really big range. That was maybe 80 feet, 90 feet. I was just boom, boom, boom. And it was kind of a bad blaster to shoot at that range, because that's Welt City. You know, I like to shoot a blaster like this. I'm at least 150 feet away, if not farther. Okay, because I'm trying to bag people from pretty far. Well, let's make sure it's on prime. Yeah, and to me, this is a huge blaster. This is enormous. Even a Zeus, but I'll be honest with you, Zeus really brought me back into long shots, because before that I was like, well, I can get the speed and power, and I want to get out of anything. Plus, long shots are just really boxy, you know. But when the Zeus came out and I became a big part of that, I was like, okay, all right. I like the feel of it. People say the grip's small, but okay, I got kind of big hands, but they're round hands. So it actually works really good for me, you know. The stock, well, if you have the stock way up here, then your priming hand's way up here and you're overextending. So really, to have it here is actually best. People don't get that. On a red, it's different though. A red is a little different because the red's mechanism between is a little smaller. Let's see. Hitting it. Okay, cool. It's sighted. It's cool. It's got the Merlin on it. And I did the trim tabs. I did that out of enamel. I'm going to let that dry. Yeah. So basically what I'm doing is doing much stuff. But I have my niece's birthday party is Sunday. I was going to do this live broadcast on Sunday after Super Bowl. I might still if we have time, but I'm going to be busy all day with her party, Super Bowl, everything else. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do a live broadcast. So let's put this baby back on the perch where you all remember seeing it in Allen Ranch and all my other episodes. Yeah. That sucker, next Armageddon, that thing is going to be a menace. Let's bring down another menace. This one's a little less powerful. 16K. That's cool. That's cool. I don't care. That's cool. Most people will probably pick this up when they sit down and go, oh my god, I missed one of Cartaya's chats. Actually, it's my fault. I all of a sudden realized I don't have any other time in the weekend, so I just put it up because I realized tonight I'm doing something, tomorrow I'm doing something, tomorrow I'm busy, and Monday will probably be Owl Ranch, unless it ends up like Wednesday where it was Wednesday because I had so much stuff to do. Okay, so this is right here, I don't know what to name this, but the Omega Long Shot. Now, oh cool, tell your folks I said hi. Chris says hi! I don't know you, but I know your son, and you guys make really cool kids, so hi, you know. And Jason's a class act. I love him. He's great. He's a really fun guy, a really good person to meet in person. Yeah, so this is the Jet Blaster's pre-production prototype. Thank you. Woo. And it's all metal, okay? Now, some people have been having trouble with this blaster and the production kit. I cannot fathom why. You know, maybe they handed me a really good one, but this thing is nice. I mean, mine is actually really nice. Now, of course, I have a custom brass barrel on it. It's got a Merlin, brand new Merlin. So I have two Merlins. I have one that's an Audi Merlin and one this is an Audi Merlin. Basically, it's made to go on this and the #2 long shot. I couldn't use this Merlin on Big Blue because the barrel was already too long. This is a 14-inch barrel, swan barrel. It's got the Ultra Match port on it, as so. Okay, so that right there is about 14 inches. It's a little longer with the brass, makes it about 14 1/8. And if you lengthen it here, you got about this much. You got about this much there, and it ends up being exactly 16 inches to the Merlin. So I like this, and what I like about this most is to just take the Katana mag adapter, only the mag adapter, and I may change that. I may take out this top pole here, and I may actually make one of these smooth, so it's just like so, like a bolt action. Because I actually like taking it. If I get this damn magazine in here, I have so much trouble with this kind of crap. Yeah, and that's 16K. It's made for sub 300 wars. It shoots somewhere in the 280s, 290s with a 16K. I have not chronoed it with a Merlin yet, and my chrono is down. But it does seem to be shooting a lot faster. I was able to hit a can of Red Bull with this last week. I was pretty psyched, you know, from 65 feet, which is a pretty decent range, that small of a target with a Nerf gun. Very great. A Nerf blaster, excuse me, community. You can kill me later, sorry. So, but I have been trying to figure out why people are having problems with this. People have been having problems with the seal. The eyelet that goes from the bolt to the carbon graphite rod to the other side doesn't really have any sealant to it. I'm almost thinking if they put, they machined 2 O-rings on the inside of that fit around that carbon graphite bolt. Not only are you making an insulator for the graphite, but you're also making it so it's airtight. So even if there's a hole in it, yeah. And then I would put probably a washer on the other side of that, and then put like some neodymium padding. So I mean, even if, but this can be all solved simply by putting sealant or a washer on the inside of that screw. Now, I never did. It just worked. I don't know how, but I've never had a leak problem at all. Now, it might leak a little because this Merlin is not perfect. Yeah, it's pretty good. But if you take off the Merlin, because I still have to work on that just a little bit. Yeah, it's got a seal. May it be a 10-second seal, may it be a 12-second seal. It's still pretty good. It's good enough. It's good enough to play with, you know. And I've been trying to figure this out, and it's a little hard when I only have this production one. They were gonna send me pre-production one, excuse me. They were gonna send me a production one, but Jet, well, you know, they've been having a lot of problems, and I never got one. And the bummer thing about that is I did a lot of videos on it. I did explain it was pre-production, and mine is working great, but I never had the production one to compare to. And I had a lot of friends that were like, well, yeah, but no, we have the production one, and the seal is crap on it. I can't get it out of 210 feet per second. You can't do this, can't do that. And I'm like, why? You know? And the problem was it didn't seem to make any sense. And I couldn't figure out what it was, other than the fact that obviously I got a pre-production one. Yeah. So what I'm doing right here is I'm sighting this in. Who are you rooting for? Super Bowl. I'm not a football fan either, but, well, you may be, I'm not. But, who are you rooting for? Rams. Yeah, okay, cool. It's Rams against the Chiefs, right? Or am I wrong? Is it Chiefs or Patriots? God, I'm so bad. I just do not follow sports. Okay, so let's see here. This, I gotta adjust the trim on this. So right now I'm basically sighting my blasters. I don't have to sight the bird I worry about later. And again, got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was just a little tweak. That's it. Yeah. So I'm basically just sighting this. I know this thing is probably pretty loud. It's got a lot of power to it. But it's essentially Patriots. Yeah, Patriots. Okay, thank you, Patriots. It's essentially, it's basically a sniper, and I can throw like a magazine in here, and it would work. Anyone but Patriots, I want to win. Yeah. I heard about that game and how bad the call was. Oh my gosh. And I have no doubt that these sports, I think some of them are rigged. I think some of them are rigged. I really do. And I don't know, I kind of lose the faith in sports when I see like a lot of the steroids and a lot of the drugs and a lot of the fights about salary caps and things like that. I got really discouraged when I saw the first baseball strike when I was growing up in the 90s, and I was like, first one I ever saw, okay? And I was just kind of like, oh man, you know? Or like when we had the LA riots and Darryl Strawberry was interviewed, and I'm still looking for that interview because I saw it on TV, and he was getting out of his SUV, and he's just like, you know, WWF. I used to watch WCW and WWF all the time when I was younger. So, Darryl Strawberry, what do you think about the LA riots? I don't know. I don't live there. Let it burn. I mean, he said that. He just got out of his car, having some bad day or something, and he just, oh, let it burn. And I was like, oh, it's terrible, you know? And I used to go to the Dodger game with my parents and stuff, and we just stopped going, you know? And it catches that cliff. Yeah, this is one of those that has a receiver on it. You know, funny thing is also, okay, this happened after, you know, this happened after my influence was long gone from that company, despite all my patience. Okay, so they designed the Katana mag, right? Designed it. We designed it with this step here. Okay. So when you have a dart in there with the Omega kit, because the bolt on the front has no wrapping, and I even put a little bit of a curve on mine, make it feed easier to the next dart. It's not supposed to do that on the last dart. It's supposed to push it through. If I take this magazine out right now, and I put it in Big Blue, with this stop right here, it'll feed. Why? Because we put enough of an in curve on the front of the bolt. Here, I can show you actually. On the front of the bolt, that when this goes up, it will actually, even with the stop, it'll take it. Yeah. So let's take the same dart, same everything. A lot of this kind of stuff happened, you know, after, you know, after 2017, and I'm just like, you know, that's the first thing I would have checked, is to make sure that works with the Katana. And it was one of the best inventions of a Katana, is that you can keep those tabs or lose them if you want to, and you can stop the breach so you don't dry fire your blaster. And it became one of the most criticized. I found it very useful. Okay. I also like the fact that, unlike the Talon mags, I can do that. It just drops out. I have the breech back. It just drops out. No problem. Okay. Very useful. Believe me. Okay, so here it is. Same one. Same dart. Same stop. Right? Watch this. Yes, it's a metal alpha kit, but it was made with the same specs as. Basically, that was the version 2 pusher. The one that you guys got would be the version 3 pusher, which had the overhang on the bottom, not all the way around it. This one's all the way around it, but it should fit. As a matter of fact, with the overhang all the way around it, it would have less likelihood of fitting. So let's see. Yeah, no problem. No freaking problem. I put a silicone dome, go through cardboard box. It can if it's hauling fucking ass. Yeah. But at some point you gotta say, you know, I am no longer an influence in this company. Why bother? Why try? Why bother? You know, they're not gonna listen to me. I don't work for them. Okay, well, there you go. In the beginning, they were doing really good, and then they kind of lost it. You know, they lost their way. They lost that touch with people, and it's people we're selling them to, not Vogons. And I don't believe that, you know, every blaster should be as cheap as should be. Everything should be, you know, no. There's definitely a lot of sweat equity that goes into designing and goes into building and making and everything else. But I do believe that a company should listen to its people. You know, and when you make a product, your legacy products should support it, unless this is not sold anymore. Let's say they don't sell a Katana mag anymore, okay, and they decided not to do it, and they make the next one so it doesn't have this breach. Fine, and then don't support it. You know, if you just decide to just give it a level pusher, fine. You know, then you shouldn't support something that you don't make anymore, sell anymore, or is obsolete. I agree with that, but these are not obsolete. Well, according to me, they're not obsolete. Some people will say, oh no, the Talon is the future. Yeah. Design theft is the future. That's what it is. So, let me bring up one other issue that came up. One other really big issue, and then I think I'll sign off. Pretty significant issue. Okay, so I have a friend online, clowning Nerf, and I was going through YouTube channels just to see what was going on at the time, just to hang out. And oh yeah, he was ranting. Now, unfortunately, I ran into him late in the chat. The whole chat was about 5 minutes. I got in about 2.5, 3 minutes. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and he was all ticked at something. But I knew it was a good reason. It had to be a really good reason. Okay? Why is Clowny PO'd at somebody? What happened? And the reason he's PO'd is an extremely good reason, as a matter of fact. So I wait for the chat to go online so I can catch what I missed. Turns out that he sent a care package to a friend. Okay, as a lot of us do, a lot of us Nerfers do, we will send a care package to somebody. May it be 2K or a spring or whatever, okay? It's just something small. And it got sent to the wrong house. Well, the person who got it took the package, took the spring, it was a 7 kilogram turf spring, which, by the way, turf is going under, which is really sad. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. That he's basically leaving for, you know, to better deal with his issues and this and that, his mental health issues and everything, and all this stuff that's happened in Mike's, you know, poor life, you know. And they took the worker Hurricane that was in there, and they beat it up. Now, I don't even think a worker Hurricane is where there's somebody beating it up, and then sticking it on where the address was stuck on, sticking it on their door, and then running off. I kind of agree with Connie's notion it has to be somebody in the community, because why would they take the spring? A 7K, it sounds like it was a strong arm spring. Strong arm springs are 7.5 actually. Unless they really knew what that was. Why would they do that? And just stick it on their door. What I hope they do is they find out where it actually got delivered. I don't know. And just take the spring and then take the... And it looked like they were trying to pry the... As Connie said, and I'm only going by what Kalani said, tried to pry the magazine out of there or something. And tried to... Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I think for this spring, let's say this one, it's probably got as much steel. That's a 13 kilogram, that's a 13 kilogram, that's a 13 kilogram, chrono spring. You know, I think you probably get like 5 cents worth of steel in this thing. I don't think you get that much, okay? And he was pissed, and he called him out, basically saying, you know, I found out who you are. You are not coming to one of my games. You're not going anywhere, okay? This is really sad, you know. I hope the post office can figure out, like, where they had delivered it, unless the postal guy just went, oh, gee, I thought that was Lakeshore Drive, and this is actually Cloverleaf Drive. Whoops, I don't know which house I did. I deliver a lot of packages. That's happened to me. You know, that's happened to me. I had stuff shipped to me, and they're like, well, I don't remember where he did it. They were just nice enough to turn it back in. Oh, hi, Tisha. Do-do. Do-do. Yeah. And so, oh, you know, really, really terrible. And then Turf, you know, they're not doing springs anymore, which is really, really sad. And You can buy like, you know, like 30 or 50 springs, and he'll ship you like a package of them for pretty much the cost of springs and shipping from Australia. They'll do that. Hello. Yep. So they'll do that, but you know, these springs are a revolution. I love these springs. They are really powerful power plants. They're good. They have good power. Everything else. And finally, I wanted to. There was one more thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to make a retraction while I was here. Okay, so about 6-7 months ago or so, I forget how long it was, I got a Star Shot from Rex Graham, and he threw me 2 springs. I don't know what happened, but when I tried to put the spring into a Kronos plunger rod, it didn't fit. And the only thing I could think of that happened is in some confusion I grabbed the wrong spring. I must have. Because I was cleaning up my room a little yesterday. My room always needs cleaning. I'm just a tinkerer. My room's always a mess. Even when I clean it a day later, it's just dirty again. And I threw it into a Kronos. Okay? And it hits pretty hard. It hits really hard. It's actually a very good spring. And unfortunately, I thought it was too small. It wouldn't fit. Yeah. Yeah. So that is the spring he sent me. It yields about 16K. It was a prototype. It wasn't a production spring. It was a prototype for a turf spring. And I just didn't, I thought it didn't fit. So they were laying around, and I saw it there, and I was like, huh. And I happened to have this plunger rod sitting nearby. It was just on the floor, and I took it out, and you can see I took the plunger padding off of it, and I put it in there like, wait a minute, it fits. What the heck? Wait, this is the one that he sent me. Yeah, it is the one that, oh. Okay, I better go back and make a retraction and say, yeah, it works. It yields about 16K. It does have the issue with, it doesn't have as much pre-compression. Not like the 18K prototype that workers stole and decided to use that actually was on mine, which is actually a derivative of a 21 millimeter spring that we actually found the same spring sourcing that Explorer had, me and an Air Force friend of mine, and they actually happened to have it in the parts shop over at Lockheed. They actually had the spring, and he's like, yeah, I can cut you down a couple of these. Do you want these? I'll actually cut you down 4. And I took them and I used them. Yeah, that was a clowning stream earlier, and it was like, whoa. I couldn't figure out what it was. I had to go back and check, okay, why is Clowny pissed? He's pissed at something. I like the boldness he has just to go out there and just freaking say it, you know? Don't give a shit what people think. You know, don't give a shit about this scumbag. You know, you can confront this scumbag, put him on, give him 5, man. I mean, seriously. You know, he's got the guts then after that to say, well, that was me. How dare you talk to me? How dare you talk about me on there? I'm serious, you know, and he's got those kind of guts. I like that in people. That you're willing to go out there, not be freaking politically correct, quasi, you know, peaceful. No, you have an issue, you say it. It also tells people that if you don't have an issue, you're not going to be quiet about it. One of my biggest social anxiety problems I have is that people will have a problem with something I'm doing, and I'm eccentric. There's a lot of things I do that bug people, okay, and they won't say anything, or they'll try to live with it. And I like the idea of being tolerant, yes, I do, but if I'm really doing something that just majorly bugs you, tell me about it so I can try to avoid not doing it. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to be perfect, but I'm going to try. I want you to be welcome. Okay, so here's 18K with the pre-comp, okay. It's pretty powerful. It's, I would say, a little more powerful. I would say this is probably doing about 150 and 16K, and this is doing about 160, 170 at 18. But it's good. Also, you have a lot of 150 limit words. Like, for example, if I had these springs at Ragna, I had to cut down to this spring, okay? This is a 7/8 diameter spring, 1.8 millimeter coil. There's one of the ones in here are 2 millimeter coil. So they hit a lot harder. I had to take these out and put in these. And these are only 13K. that got me to about 120, 130 feet per second. But if I had these, it didn't matter anyway. I still survived, but I would have had a lot of situations where I had a lot more hitting power on my Chronoses. Yeah, I would have been right at the edge of 150, but I think I would have passed, and that I would have done it. So I'm saving these springs for next Ragna for sure, man, for sure. And I just wanted to make that retraction. I'm really sorry. I make mistakes. I'm really sorry about that, but I wanted to say that, okay, they're good prototypes. Maybe about 95% there. I would like to see them have some kind of plating, either gold or paint or whatever. Also would like to see with ground ends. Also think that the coils need a little more spacing, about 1/4 inch, 3/8, but the same coils. So it's a little wider. You see what I'm saying? And that would make it so when it hits, it closes. Because you can see this spring right here. Like my plunger is right here. It will be like this much close. You also have to compensate for the fact that you're going to get a little bit of set in the spring. So it's going to, over time, it's going to do that. Okay. You have to compensate for that when you're making springs too. A lot of that is alloy, but most of this is music wire. Most spring is actually heat-treated music wire. So you have to compensate for that too, and I think that having that extra 1/4, 3/8 of an inch will do it. So anyway, I gotta go. I just was working on Big Blue. I did that earlier, so if you missed it, and most of you probably did, take a look-see. And do watch Broke Nerfing's interview. I'm going to try to watch it. I do have to go, like, I think maybe half an hour, 45 minutes into it, because I'm going to the valley today. I'll try to watch as much of it as I can. So at any rate, don't you go changing, or I'll find you. Notice I did that, because I did that interview with... do you guys remember that review I did of the Bulldog? It actually fired it. It was green. I meant to shoot past it, like I shoot past this. But I'm sighting this when I do this. I know I'm not going to hit the phone. And the same thing with Big Blue. I've got a scope on it. I got a 3x940 on it. I'm not going to miss and hit the phone. Well, I just kind of offhand shot with the Bulldog, and I was trying not to hit the phone. And the dart did this. It flew, and then it has this little hole on top of it. Like, just all of a sudden, it was flying, and it went like that. It was really funny. So, anyway, have a good Super Bowl. Have a good day. Sorry about the short notice. Sorry about the short episode. I just very busy this weekend. So, peace out. Give me all your money. Give me all your money. Actually, don't. I don't even have Patreon.